Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This one is for Snapshot 25W20A, where obviously we have a new menu panorama for 1.21.6. It means we are getting close to the next drop of this year being released. And this panorama is really cool. I love that they managed to squeeze so many ghasts into the image here, including the dried ghast. But let's talk about what's in this snapshot. We have a new record disc, a soundtrack has been released, and there are big changes to the saddle and much more. So let's jump into it. I think we have to start with the soundtrack because there's something rather curious here. It's called Game Drop 2 for 2025. The soundtrack was put together by Amos Roddy. There's 6 new songs. We got Lily Pad, Below and Above, O Pianos, Broken Clocks, Fireflies, and Tears, which is the record disc you'll find inside of the game. I was listening to these songs while preparing for this video. They're really nice, ambient, chilled out pieces. Maybe not as Minecrafty as you might like, but I really enjoyed them. And this new record disc, this one is a banger. But let's just linger on the title of the soundtrack for a second, because it's called Game Drop 2 2025, which just doesn't feel right. The Spring to Life drop got to keep its name in the soundtrack, and the same goes for The Garden Awakens as well. So why don't they use this opportunity to announce the name of the drop, which I really hope is called Ghastly Summer. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I think leaving it as Game Drop 2 would be kind of lame. Alright, next up we're going to talk about the new record disc, which I said was Tears. It's by Amos Roddy. When we put this new record... Oh, hello. When we put the new record into the jukebox, we get a signal strength of 10. And there is a reason we're not hearing any sounds right now. You know how it is with music on this platform and copyright and all of that stuff. So what I do is just upload the new song to the second channel to be on the safe side in case there's any issues. And to be fair, that's rarely a problem with the Minecraft soundtracks, at least the new ones. Anyways, if you want to listen to it for yourself, you can find it over on the second channel. And of course, it's included in the soundtrack, which you can listen to on Spotify. Both of those will be linked in the description box down below. And if you're wondering how to obtain this record, you have to complete the classic Return to Sender advancement. Performing this stunt of sending the fireball back to the ghast and killing it with it will cause the ghast to drop the record. This is going to be pretty hard to pull off in this snapshot video. Yeah, not a chance. If I think about this for more than 5 seconds, it's actually probably quite easy. There we go. Let's go check it out. Aha, there it is right there. We got our record disc. Okay, next up, we're still on the topic of music. The soundtrack that you saw has been added to the game through the cherry groves, the forest, the desert, the grove, and the lush cave biomes. You will hear the other 5 tracks on the soundtrack in these environments. And some of these songs were also added to the menu music rotation. And another change here allows music to continue playing when the game is paused. This change, I believe, is actually just addressing a couple of bug fixes. Now, in the options for music and sounds, we've got a couple of new buttons. First of all, we have music frequency. You can now influence how often the music will crop up in the game. So from default to frequent to constantly playing. There is also this option for a music toast to pop up in the left-hand corner of the screen and tell you what music you're listening to. Let's go ahead and turn the game's music on. And there we go. We got the toast in the top left of the screen with the notes and the animation, which looks really, really cool. Based on the way that this is worded on the website, I believe you'll only see this toast pop up in the pause menu. When I click back to game, it immediately disappears. Next, we're going to look at some general changes in the snapshot. Just before we do, if you are new around here and not subscribed to the channel and you're thinking, I'd like to catch future updates like this so I'm in the know with Minecraft, then please consider subscribing. So thanks for doing that. We'll now crack on with the video. So a bug fix has been partially reverted. This change means that the underwater placement of paintings and item frames will survive explosions, whereas armor stands and items won't. Except the items did. So let's try that again without the trapdoor in the way. Yep, it got rid of the diamonds. Okay, last snapshot we got some tweaks and changes to fog in this game. And this fog was made much worse when the game rained, and that effect has been toned back. Yeah, it's definitely not as dramatic now when it goes from clear weather to rainy. This rain and fog effect was also affecting interiors. In this snapshot, I can barely notice when I'm indoors if the rain outside is causing it to feel any foggier. So we may not be able to make happy ghasts larger than normal, but ghasts now have a flying speed attribute. Let's go ahead and see if this command will do the trick. Yep. Alright, I've spawned a bunch of them now, so it's a little bit more obvious. I might have overdone it with the flying speed. Okay, here's a regular Ghast with a far more agreeable flying speed. Ah, yes, you got stuck in the bamboo, didn't ya? We also got new splash text in this update. Music by Amos Roddy. Flint and Steel. Chicken Jockey. Okay, feel free to crucify me in the comments if those were terrible. The splash text, by the way, is the text that appears here on the main screen of the game. All right, next up we have dialogues, which is something quite massive for custom experiences, and I have a demo to show you. And these dialogues are also an experimental feature. But that's not to be confused with experiments. This is something different. You do not have to enable this to use it in your world. Yes, the terminology here isn't particularly great, but we understand what it means, right? The game comes with 2 default dialogues, custom options, and server links, both of which are completely blank. But when you open them up, you get this warning message up here. This is a custom screen. Click here to learn more. The contents of this screen are controlled by third-party Mojang servers and maps that are not owned, operated, or supervised by Mojang Studios or Microsoft. Handle with care. Always be careful. Wash your hands when following links and never give away your personal information, including login details. If this screen prevents you from playing, you can go outside and touch grass. So a dialogue will always close after a user performs an action, and pressing escape will do the same thing. Dialogues will also pause the game in single-player mode and can be configured to be accessible from the pause menu. I believe that means that you can add elements to this menu interface here, although I don't have a demonstration of that. But I did mention I have a demonstration of some examples of what you can do with this. So shout out to IO Blackshaw for sharing this. It's a data pack that adds some example dialogues. So let's go ahead and check out buttons. We got regular, big, small. They can have tooltips. They can run commands as well. They can open URLs or have fancy colors. This Happy Ghast one is really interesting because this interface can be used to display information that could teach you things about the game. Last of all, we have an example of the inputs. So you can put in some text, you can click a checkbox, you can cycle through options and give it a number range. And when you're done, it actually puts all of that information together into a command, which prints it into chat. This is obviously really powerful stuff, amazing for custom experiences, and who knows, it might get used for some vanilla stuff as well, right? There is an absolute ton of documentation on this stuff, so if you're interested in it, it's a big read. There is a lot of it, and you can find the article linked in the description box below. Next up are the saddles, which are now craftable. That'll be music to some of your ears. This is the recipe, 3 leather, and a single piece of iron. The recipe for this is also unlocked after you pick up your first piece of leather. And rejoice, not only is this craftable, you can now unequip it from mobs by using shears to get your saddle back. These shearing changes have also been applied to llamas. You can right click on them to get the carpet back. Of course, you can do that through the interface, but this is a nice addition too. And the same thing goes for this horse with its shiny golden armor. If I right click it, we get the horse armor, and then we get the saddle after. And none of these actions work if the player is holding down shift. See here on a pig, there is no GUI, but you can't take the saddle back. With this horse, if you hold down shift and right click, you see the GUI. Now the Ravager visually has a saddle, but you won't be able to remove it with this mechanic. And it says that a dispenser with shears in it won't be able to remove this, which you can see it doesn't. But didn't we just get that functionality added to the harness? So here it is, we've got a dispenser with shears, a Happy Ghast, and you can't remove the harness now. This might just be a change of heart, a change they've decided to make based on feedback about the gameplay. Personally, I think it'd be cool if the dispensers could do this rather than not. There's also new item components for equipable, which can be sheared and shearing sound. This allows players to shear and remove equipable items from a target mob by right-clicking them. And that comes along with a sound event when that happens. Now, we're used to getting saddles inside of loot chests when exploring the world. And this has been changed now, so they'll give between 1 and 5 leather instead of a saddle. This is the case for loot found inside of the ancient city, the desert pyramid, the jungle temple, which is also referred to as the jungle pyramid inside of the game, the corridor room of a stronghold, and the loot found in your simple dungeons. That was actually it from me of this video, so if you liked it, leave a like. Thanks for supporting the channel, and check me out on Twitch later today. I'm going to be live streaming after this video is published. I'm going to go have a little break, come back to the computer, and I'll be playing on Hermitcraft, so hopefully I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.